Shalom. I do want to start off this lesson by saying all praises to YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, or QADASH. For giving me the opportunity, in the spirit and the time to do this lesson today. I do want to give double honor to the elders and Apostle GREATMILLSTONE for teaching the truth by using precept upon precepts and line upon line. And this lesson I do want to get into today is short and simple. And I already made a lesson about it 2 weeks ago of how 7 women's gonna take hold of one man, but and how that's gonna happen in the future. But I want to go in the video of why if that's going to happen. Why is 7 women's gonna take over one man? And in this day and age, we already know why, because the economy is going bad, or the woman is out of the hope and she has no choice to seek out a man. All right, so you can see the the reasoning of how a woman is going back to her, a lot of women's gonna search out for that one man, and they're going to share. Or another reasoning that we understand now is that women's going back to their old ways. All right, woman is accepting polygamy. Woman is going back to the old ways of the laws of YAHAWASHI. Why? Because YAHAWASHI is coming closer and closer, and more closer he gets, the more spirit, his spiritual presence bring everything back in order. It's like a fear. It's like everybody knows YAHAWASHI is coming, so everybody's trying to get in order, even the women themselves. Now, obviously, it's a little of them. There's little women that's getting in order, but when YAHAWASHI comes, trust and believe, all the women's gonna get in order. Every last woman in America is gonna get in order, and every man's gonna get one. But the one main reason why there's gonna be multiple women out there alone, having no men, is because the man is gonna die from war. And I thought I should talk about it because Elder Apostle Tahar, he was going into how basically how Israel, so-called Negroes, Latino and American, have committed adultery against YAHAWASHI, by going after strange doctrines, and strange beliefs, idolatry basically. All right, but YAHAWASHI made an analogy in the book of Hosea 3 of how Hosea, he had a prostitute, and he had had children with her, and what happened? She committed adultery, and then what did the Most High tell Hosea to do? To get her back, and that was like an example of what YAHAWASHI is doing to Jake. Jake, Israel, so-called Negroes, Latino and American, we committed adultery against YAHAWASHI. All right, but he's bringing us back. Why? Because he have loved us. All right, and are we gonna be neglecting YAHAWASHI in those days? Hell no, because we all need saving. All right, we all screwed. We all messed up. We done gone far off. We need YAHAWASHI. We need his deliverance, his blood to correct us, because we're in this corruptible flesh. We're gonna continue going off 24/7, and without YAHAWASHI, we're screwed. Without him, we're just done. We're just a pick of a dust that's gonna be in captivity forever without YAHAWASHI. So we need him, and that's what's about to come to pass. All right, and there was a point that Elder Apostle Hart said of how basically Nate from IUIC had said something wrong, of how he said that the 7 Ys is gonna happen in Kingdom of Heaven. That's just a lie. It's gonna happen in this side. This is gonna happen where woman's gonna start realizing shit's about to hit the fan, and they're gonna start seeking out the man of the Lord. First and foremost, the elect, the prophets. Why? Because those are the men that could deliver out of the hell they're about to get into. Because everybody's gonna know who the prophets is in those days. I believe there's a scripture that talks about how the prophet's gonna have fame. They're gonna have fame in the land. The reason why prophets gonna be famous is because the prophets knew of what's gonna happen next. They knew what's gonna come, and they're just ready to go. And they're gonna be famous among women because they're gonna be the only one to get out of the situation. Women are people. Women just love taking advantage of, to get out of hardships. Anything that'll get them out of hardships, they'll take that advantage, and they'll glorify it. And that's what's happening to the men. The man's gonna be glorified in those days. The elect man's gonna be glorified in those days. Obviously, there's gonna be some that's gonna be persecuted for the namesake of YAHAWASHI. But all in all, there's some that's gonna be fame. All right, and those women's gonna cleave onto them. And why? Because they have no men. Their men have went out to war. Their men had basically got slaughtered to death. All right. So I thought I should talk about the reasoning of why they're from them. Because why they're alone. Why? Because everything out there in the world is also be destroyed. All right, the economy is crashing. The benefits that they used to have is not helping them anymore. All right, the everyday life that everybody thought was good is not good. All right, America is gone. America dream is gone. America at this point is a land of confusion, of people just trying to distract themselves of the real reality of them being lonely. You know, it's just a reality of just woes after woes after woes. And when the ultimate woe comes in, Jacob Trouble and nukes, the woman's gonna seek out comfort. They're gonna seek out some man to help them. Now, some woman out there gonna be like, I got a man, I got a comfort. Look, man, he's about to get drafted into World War Three. That man you have might be drafted into World War Three. Because we're in the days where America's about to enter World War Three. America damn near commanded NATO to get their military power up. You think America's not gonna do the same thing? They're gonna do the same thing. 144 call Allah YAHAWASHI. They're gonna do the same thing. Alright? First and foremost, actually it's a prophecy that's gonna happen. Isaiah chapter 3, verse 16 says, it's moreover the Lord Yahawah saith, because the daughter of Zion are haughty and walk with stretched forth necks and wanting eyes, walking and mincing as they go, and making a twinkling with their feet. Alright? Therefore the Lord Yahawah will smite with a scab of the crown of the head of the daughter of Zion, and the Lord Yahawah will discover thy secret parts, meaning that you're going to have short hair. But the reason why I read verse 16 was the point that Yahweh Shemash, the following scripture I want to grab in this chapter is talking about you women. You know, you women in America that's, being adulterous. That's basically just, that's being a dipwit. That's just basically just doing what you want to do. Being a haughty, prideful. You just want to do what you want to do. This wasn't going to happen to you in those days. That's acting prideful, stretched for necks. All right. What does it say? Verse 25. Thy man shall fall by the sword. What sword? The sword of World War 3. When Aho break loose. So your man's basically going to get drafted into World War 3 and he's going to die. And the value of Jehoshaphat, what is the Yahweh Shemashah going to do in the Middle East? He's going to judge everybody there. All right. He's going to judge everybody there. Everybody over there is screwed. They're done for. And let's say there's some people that's going to survive. They're going straight to captivity. And the Jake that's over there, why the hell the Jake is over there in the first place? You're not supposed to be over there. If you're over there, you're predestined to die. You was destined to die. Because over there, it's going to be a hellhole. Yahweh Shemashah is going to go over there and judge the nations and Jake for what they have done. And there's not going to be no peaches and cream. It's going to be, a slaughter. A bloodbath in those days. All right, so it says what? Thy man shall be fall by the sword, and thy mighty men in the war. So you went out there that, in those days that we're about to get into, you're about to lose your man. The reason why there's a prophecy about how 7 women shall cleave into 1 man is because a lot of women had lost their husbands. A lot of women is seeking out for comfort. A lot of women is seeking out for salvation. And the only way you could, the woman could be, they will be delivering those last minutes is hope that they finally let men. And that's just the reality. That's what's going to happen. When shit hit the fan, they're going to run for the man. They're going to do that. All right. And that's what's going to come to pass. I thought I should do a land back at the Pastor Hart video of how he said, it's going to happen this time. It is. And it makes sense with the scenarios that's happening around the world, what the stuff is happening. If you're looking around, you can see how the prophecy makes sense to see how, it will come to pass. Verse 26, and her gates shall lament and mourn, and she being desolate shall sit upon the ground. Desolate, of everything. Jacob trouble's going to happen. World War 3 famine. She has nothing in her house. She desolate. She needs a man. In those days, that's what's going to happen. In this video, it shows a woman. She was saying she was desperate. I think it was her right here. Let me see if I could use my pen to her right here. If you could see my marker a little bit, you can see my marker in the middle. All right, right here, I'm circling her. No, matter of fact, you get the point. I'm pretty sure you could see it. Yeah, her right here. She basically was homeless, and her friend, her male friend, her so-called male friend, was saying that, her male friend, her so-called male friend, was basically saying that, if you want to live in my house, you gotta give me the box. And she had to apply because she was homeless. All right. Obviously, she didn't like him. She didn't like him because she called him a friend. But She had no choice. Why? Because she was homeless. She was down in the dumps. She was screwed. She got everything ripped away from her. So she had no choice to give the box to him. What do you think is gonna happen to the woman when all hell break loose? When Jacob Trouble happens and everybody, all the men is ripped away, people is dying left and right, and they got nothing. They got nothing left. The woman out there, they're finna go up to the men and they're finna be like, hey, you know, let me be your woman and I'll let you get the box. They're finna do that because they got nothing in values to give. The only thing they got is their what? Their body. All right, and there's some men out there, they're just alone. All right, they're just alone. All right, I know some brothers out there, you know, they got their woman with you, but there's other men that they're just alone. They got nothing. All right, in those days, they will get something. That's just an honest truth for those men. And when all hell break loose, no woman's not gonna be no hypocrite of, oh, what a guy looks like, what does this look like, oh, if he's doing this, how he acts, woo de woo. It's gonna be straight up to survival mode. It's not gonna be like that, man. All this thing that we have in America of how people judging one another, this and that and third, all that's gonna get cut off when reality sets in. When it's just reality. You need a man, and a man needs a woman with you. All right, that's how it's gonna happen. You know, you brothers out there has one woman, you can have multiple women. You're gonna have another woman coming up to you, and another one, and now your woman has no choice to share. Shoot, your own woman gonna have a best friend, and she's struggling. Your woman is gonna bring your best friend to come to you, so she can get popped by you, so she could be delivered too. You know, that's what's gonna happen. Look, man, it's right now. It seems like a far-fetched fantasy from you guys out there. That's like, that's not true. That's not gonna happen. You know, because we're in this days where, you know, everybody's just prideful. To be honest with you, everybody's hurt. Everybody's prideful. Everybody's by themselves. But when all hell break loose, trust and believe. There's gonna be people that's gonna be a girl, do. It's gonna be just like that. Just like in her situation, she's gonna do the same thing to the man. She's gonna run back to the man. Right now it seems hopeless. Or right now it doesn't seem that hopeless, you know. She's being, you know, rude to the man, saying, oh, that's a friend. But when all hell break loose and he's the one that's protecting her, she ain't gonna be saying that's his friend. She gonna be, that's my husband. That's my husband. She gonna be saying that's my husband. Everybody's gonna be saying, all the women's gonna be saying that. All right. And the apostle said a true fact. He said of a man saying that is a friend, that's a lie. No man is a friend of a woman. They have nothing in common, and that's really true. They have nothing in common. There's no such. I think there's no such thing. Now, can you talk to a woman like, you know, you just ask her for some, you do this, and that, and the third? Yeah, of course that happens. You know, you could talk. You know, obviously, but really, a man hanging out with you every single day and saying he's your friend, there's no such things. All right, that's just a fact. You know, they'll be thinking that that's true because that's not true. Anyways, but going to the prophecy of what Elder Apostle was laying back to was Isaiah 4 verse 1. And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we shall eat of our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by the name to take away our reproach. So basically, the woman's going to be like, all hell's breaking loose. I need a man to save me. I know who it is. I'm going to walk up to him and basically plead my case and hope that he will take me in. That's basically it. They're just going to be saying, hey, I'll let you go. Let me be your wife. That's basically what it is. They basically, you know how in this day and age, how you got to walk up to a woman and be like, hey, woo, I'll get your number, this and that, third. Hope that she say yes. Hope you say no. Hope it's like a gambling game. You got to impress them. You got to waste like $300 sometimes. Sometimes you don't have to. Some women's out there, you know, there's some good women out there. Not all women's like that. But I'm just saying that, you know how you got to walk up to them. In those days, they're going to walk up to you. There's no such thing as you walking up to them. It's just going to be them walking up to you, you know? And don't be thinking that all women is going to say no. Some women out there, if you walk up to them, they'll say yeah. You just got to choose wisely. But other than that, some men out there is not having that look when they walk up to a woman, you know, the woman just saying no. You know, some men just get tired of it. And, you know, they gave up. In those days, trust and believe. They're from be walking up to you. There's no if, buts, when. That's what's going to happen. Why? Because all hell about to break loose. Who? What? All hell's going to break loose. All right? Just like how when all hell break loose, people's gonna start calling upon their gods, and they're gonna realize their God's not real. You know, the woman's gonna do the same thing. When all hell break loose, she's gonna call upon her man. And when all hell break loose, and the man's gonna call upon their God, the elect man's gonna call upon their God. Who are their God? Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI. All right, my God, who Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI. I'm gonna call upon him, and Lord will he deliver the elect man. Lord will, he is gonna deliver the elect man. Lord will he delivers me. Lord will I'm the elect. You brothers that's listening, you're the elect too. Because that's basically what's gonna happen. That's basically what's gonna come to pass. Where all hell break loose and a woman's gonna take over one man. And reason why is because it's just literally no hope. Just no hope. It's gonna be chaotic. Right now it seems, well, people already sees the chaoticness already. Trump is basically making a Holocaust camp, and Trump is damn near threatening Russia. So you could kind of see where we're going. But when you're in it, you're not gonna question if you're in Jacob trouble or not. You're not gonna question. Look, you're gonna know you're in Jacob trouble. And when you're in Jacob trouble, trust and believe. They're gonna be coming up to you. You're gonna be walking one day, just doing your own mind, and one will be like, "Hey, can you protect us? Wooty woo." You'll be like that. That's how it's gonna be. That's just how it's gonna be. All right. But that's all I want to get into today. Lord, satisfied by this lesson. I do want to give all praises to Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH, for giving me the opportunity to do this lesson. I do want to give double honor to the elders and Apostle GREATMILLSTONE for teaching the truth by using precept upon precepts and line upon line. Shalom.